Everybody wants to go to heaven. Sounds great. Keep going? Okay. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but somehow it makes us cry. Everybody wants to go to heaven to see those pearly gates. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but we fear that it's too late. The funny thing about it, what's next ain't guaranteed. Some folks think that they're a shoo-in. Some think they have to plead. If you think you know the secret, then you better think again, because everyone who knows it has never come back again. Everybody wants to go.
Good morning. Woo, thank you. My name is Cindy Oliar, and I am a service associate here at the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are so glad you have joined us here in the hall and through your screen. This morning, we are happy to welcome Kyle Turver as our guest preacher. Kyle is a spiritual health clinician at Fred Hutch Cancer Center. He brings a rich background in pastoral care, worship leadership, music, and community leadership to the pulpit. He is a candidate for the UU ministry and successfully completed his meeting with the Ministry Fellowship Committee last March. Woo! He enjoys music, the outdoors, and time with his partner Jess and their 3 kids. Welcome to the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are a pluralistic faith community of seekers, humanists, theists, atheists, agnostics, and everything in between. We are committed to treating each other with compassion and respect, learning from one another, and sharing our resources to help build a more just world. We gather weekly to connect, to wrestle with life's big questions, and to rededicate ourselves to living into our Unitarian Universalist values of justice, equity, generosity, pluralism, transformation, interdependence, and love. Whether this is your first Sunday with us, or you've been here more Sundays than all the ice cream cones you have ever eaten, we are so grateful you've chosen to be here this morning. Welcome. If this is your first time with us on site this morning, and you have not yet had a chance to visit the welcome desk in the narthex, we invite you to do so after the service. Our wonderful welcome team will be glad to answer your questions about our congregation. And if you're joining us online, please go to our website at euuc.org and click on the tab that says I'm new. Then click on What Are You Interested In? To learn more about opportunities to get involved in our congregation. As we begin our service, we remind you to please silence your phones. And we invite everyone to remember that we welcome all children for all parts of our service, and that the noises they make are sacred and holy. Here are a few quick announcements about events happening in and around EUUC. There is an update from the Settled Ministry Search Committee. The Settled Ministry Search Committee is excited to share a status update. At the end of July, they gathered for a retreat with staff from the UUA. It was a wonderful opportunity to build relationships as a committee while beginning to build the structure for the search process ahead of us. We're also happy to share that Leah Marlowe and Barb Chesler have stepped into the roles of co-chairs, and Avery Whittington will be the communications coordinator. We encourage you to keep an eye out for future updates and opportunities to continue engaging in the search process. Your input will be an important part of this journey, and we look forward to hearing from you in the coming months. They've created a committee email address where they can be reached, which is ministrysearchteam@euuc.org. Details about the search timeline can be found using the QR code on this slide or on the EUUC homepage. And now we'll open our service with our land acknowledgement. Let us remember that our congregational home, this site on which we are gathered this morning, is placed on the ancestral lands of the Snohomish people, who have inhabited this region of the Salish Sea since time immemorial, and who continue their livelihoods on these lands today. May we all live and learn humbly as allies to the Snohomish.
Good morning again. It's nice to be back with you. I enjoyed my time with you about a month ago, and just so happy to be here again. So thanks for having me. Each week we commit and complete a sign and a signal of our faith tradition, Unitarian Universalism, by placing a flame in the bowl of this chalice. Week after week, month after month, and year after year, we light this chalice to symbolize the warmth of this community and the flame of our hope, which still burns brightly even in the midst of challenging and uncertain times. So we light our chalice today with these words. In the delicate dance between the blossom and the bee, we witness the beautiful reality of our seventh principle, the interconnected web of all existence. The bee takes only what it needs, and in doing so breathes life into the fields, ensuring the flowering of tomorrow. We light this chalice as a symbol of our desire to live in harmony with the earth and all beings who call it home. May this flame remind us to move gently through the world, to cross-pollinate our communities with kindness, and to leave a legacy of growth and flourishing wherever we land. Let us now say our affirmation. You can say it aloud, reading along, listening to the group reading, or otherwise participate as you wish. We need each other, and so we commit to this place to work and dance and laugh and cry and think. We call ourselves a religious community, not because this place is in itself holy ground, but because what we do here and say here and are here make it so. So let it be. Now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as you're comfortable to join in singing our opening hymn, number 66 in the gray hymnal, When the Summer Sun is Shining. When the summer sun is shining over golden land and sea, and the flowers in the hedgerow welcome butterfly and bee, then my open heart is glowing, full of warmth for everyone. And I feel an inner beauty which reflects the summer sun. When the summer clouds of thunder bring the long-awaited rain, and the thirsty soil is moistened, and the grass is green again, then I long for summer sunshine, but I know that clouds and tears are a part of life's refreshment, like the rainbow's hopes and fears. In the cool of summer evening, when the dancing insects play, and in garden, street, and meadow linger echoes of the day, then my heart is full of yearning, hopes and memories flood the whole of my being, reaching inward to the corners of my soul. Very nice. Please be seated. And as we're seated, our time for all ages is coming, and I invite children, youth, and their grown-ups to join me on the special rainbow rug for a very special story called Marco's Superpower. Come on, friends. Don't be shy. There's even comfy pillows for you to sit on if this floor is too hard. That's pretty cool. Yeah, me too. I would too if I was sitting on the floor. I would need that. Okay, this is a story, like I said, called Marco's Superpower. And I'm very excited to share it with you. Okay, we ready? Marco loved superheroes and always wished he had his very own superpower. He dreamed of running fast like Flash, or flying through the air like Superman, or scaling huge buildings like Spider-Man. But Marco had a problem. He didn't know how to control his tears. And one thing Marco knew for sure was that superheroes don't cry. Marco, on the other hand, cried often and for many different reasons. He cried when he fell and skinned his knee. He cried when his feelings got hurt. He cried when he felt scared or alone. He cried when he saw others who were sad. He tried everything he could think of to hold back the tears. He would bite his lip or count to 10, take deep breaths, but nothing seemed to work. The tears would always come, unasked for and unstoppable. And to make matters worse, when he was having fun or heard a story that filled his heart with joy, his eyes would leak onto his cheeks. Yes, Marco even cried when he was happy. Indeed. At school, Marco's tears made other kids uncomfortable. When Marco felt his tears filling his eyes, he would run and hide. One time, when there was no place to hide, the kids teased him. Cry, baby, Marco is a cry baby, they chanted. This made Marco cry even harder. He always cried the biggest tears when his feelings were hurt. Marco felt ashamed. But one day, something amazing happened. Marco was on his way home from school, and he passed a man with a sign that read, "Hard times. Please share what you can." Marco reached into his pocket and pulled out the last dollar bill of the money his mother had given him for lunch. As he put it in the man's cup, he saw his eyes full of tears. The two met eyes, and Marco could feel the pressure of tears welling up behind his own eyes. Marco reached up and covered his eyes, trying to hide his tears, and began to walk away quickly. Behind him, he heard the man's voice call out, "Don't hide those tears! They're your superpower!" Marco turned around, tears running down his cheek. "These are not a superpower," he said with shock in his voice. "They are a curse. I wish I was tough like a real superhero so I could control my tears." "Oh, no, you don't," the man said, looking into Marco's eyes. "I don't?" said Marco. "No. Being tough makes people mean. You are lucky if you don't have to be tough." Marco thought about this for a moment. "But you called it my superpower. I've never seen a superhero cry in any of the comic books or movies I've watched." True, said the man, but then again, they didn't have your superpower." The man continued, "And have you ever noticed how in the stories lots of superheroes wish they didn't have their power? Think about the Hulk. He can't control his power and wishes he could get rid of it. Spider-Man struggles with the responsibility of his power. Many superheroes wish they could go back to being regular people. When you show people your tears, you show them you care. I have sat here all day and many people have given me money, but you are the only person to share their tears with me. I appreciate your dollar, son, but your tears did something far more healing. They made me feel like I'm not alone in my sadness. And if you can't control it, well then, that's even more evidence to my point that we have a real live superhero on our hands." Marco didn't know what to say, so he thanked the man for his kindness and went on his way. When he got home, he told his mom the whole story. When he finished, she was quiet for a moment, then she took Marco's face in her hands and said, "I've always known you're special. I'm so glad you can see it too now."
That night, as Marco drifted off to sleep, he wondered if he really had discovered his superpower. The next day, on the way to school, he saw a little girl sitting on the curb crying. She had scraped her knee and was clearly in pain, but no one was stopping to help her. Without thinking, Marco walked over to the girl and knelt beside her. As he did, he felt the tears welling up in his eyes. This time, instead of trying to fight them off, he let his tears flow freely. To his surprise, as he cried, he felt a strange warmth all over his body. It was as if his tears were creating a kind of energy that was radiating outward, enveloping the girl in a comforting embrace. Slowly, the little girl's tears dried up. She looked at Marco with a warm expression on her face. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft and grateful. From that day on, Marco did not see his tears as a weakness. He saw them for what they were, the power to bring comfort to those in need. He began to offer the power of his tears openly, and over time his reputation began to change. People noticed that Marco had a special gift, a superpower that could ease the pain of others. As Marco got older, he still cried often, but he no longer felt ashamed or alone. He knew his tears were a sign of compassion and strength, and he was proud of who he was. The end. Good. Thank you. Good job, everybody. Okay, we're going to go out. I think the youngest ones are in the narthex behind us, and the rest will sing you, or we'll all sing together as you head out.
And now for our moments of peace. Now, as we ground ourselves even more deeply in this sacred time together, we will enter into a moment of meditation and quiet reflection. I invite you to find a comfortable position, whatever that feels like for your body this morning, to relax your head and neck, soften your gaze, or close your eyes. I invite you to really notice your breath, the rise and fall of your chest as your lungs fill with air and release. While we so often take our breath for granted, our breath is an everyday miracle, a wondrous force that sustains and nourishes us, that makes our living and the living of so many other beings possible. As you feel your lungs expand, I invite you to offer a silent expression of gratitude for this, your breath of life, and to feel the collective power of all of us breathing as one. And now, as we enter the quiet and not the silence, breathe with these words to companion you. May solace come upon you, love rise within you, and peace settle on your heart. May it be so.
begin with a reading. Go to your fields and gardens, and you shall learn it is the pleasure of the bee to gather honey of the flower. But it is also the pleasure of the flower to yield its honey to the bee. For the bee, a flower, is the fountain of life. And to the flower, a bee is a messenger of love. Khalil Gibran, the prophet. In the 13th century, Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II set out to discover humanity's original innate language. He ordered nurses to feed and bathe newborn infants, but strictly forbade speaking to, holding, or playing with them. The experiment ended tragically. Before reaching the age of speech, every single child had died. The emperor sought a spoken language, but instead uncovered a far deeper truth. Our first and most vital language isn't words at all. It's human connection. The human desire for connection is more than the frosting on the cake of life, but a basic human need. Have you ever considered that the act of looking another person in the eyes, listening to what they are saying and responding, is as fundamental to our biological well-being as that of food or water? This lesson has worked its way into the fabric of my soul through my work as a chaplain. The word chaplain comes with a religious sort of tone. Patients and providers understandably assume that we are there to bless, pray, read sacred texts, and minister to the religious and spiritual needs of people in the hospital. And we do gladly offer these important services. However, being with people through the most difficult moments of their life has taught me that whatever the need may be, my deepest work is the nourishment of human connection. One day, I walked into the room of a man who had lost his wife in a car crash. He survived. She did not. He was badly injured, grieving deeply and sharing stories of their life together. As he grieved, he said, "I have to come to terms with the fact that she is gone." When he said this, I thought of an earlier visit that day where a patient had told me that they often feel the presence of their deceased loved one. The memory of this visit invaded my senses and prompted me to ask a simple question: do you ever feel her presence with you, even though her body is gone? The man's eyes opened widely like he had just remembered something, and he began telling me a story. He told me that after surgery, a butterfly fluttered around the sterile operating room and landed right on his forehead. I asked if he was dreaming, but he swore the doctors confirmed it. With a sudden light in his eyes, he told me his wife had a butterfly tattoo and always spoke of butterflies as messengers of love from the other side. As a self-proclaimed skeptic, he used to playfully tease her about it. He chuckled softly and said, "She always did win our arguments." Walking out of his room, the image hit me. I am a pollinator. I had carried pollen from an earlier patient's story into his room, helping him cross the gap of his grief to blossom a connection that death couldn't break. I liked thinking of myself as a pollinator, so I decided to follow this metaphor a little further. I picked up Mark L. Winston's book, Bee Time. In it, Mark shares engaging stories and lessons from his time as a beekeeper and researcher. He beautifully describes a phenomenon familiar to many beekeepers. When you step near a hive, time slows down, and a profound sense of calm takes over. We notice this in chaplaincy too. The power of being fully present. You know the feeling. A conversation where you think 30 minutes has passed, but you look at the clock and realize it's been hours. That is bee time. Winston recalls opening a hive for the first time, nervous, only to discover that the bees remain calm as long as the beekeeper stays calm. Just like that beekeeper, a quiet, grounded presence in a hospital room can literally steady a dying patient's heart rate. Calm isn't just a mood, it's contagious. We often admire honeybees as models of relentless work. Yet Winston points out that they spend 2/3 of their lives doing nothing. They might better be called rester bees. But when bees are doing nothing, they are actually listening and communicating in ways far beyond our comprehension. Bees can share detailed location of a flower up to 2 miles away from the hive. Our human language operates on that same deep level. We know intuitively that a text message isn't the same thing as sitting across from someone. Science bears this out. Real face-to-face conversation lowers our stress hormones and fills us with trust. Texting can't do that. Social media can't do that. Like the bees, we are hardwired for presence. When we sit together like we are this morning, we are doing far more than nothing. We're communicating through an ancient emotional wiring system that predates words. Long before an infant learns language, they can read subtle changes in their mother's face and understand her emotional state accurately. As adults, our emotional brain continues to process thousands of microscopic signals in a single glance. Scientists call this limbic resonance. When we meet someone's gaze, we aren't just looking at eyes. We're tuning into another human nervous system, like two mirrors reflecting into infinity. Recently, I had the honor to work with a couple who had been married for 40 years. The husband had a brain tumor and was nearing the end of his life. They had a strong desire to maintain a connection after death. But language and finding words were difficult for the husband. He spoke like a poet or an Old Testament prophet, using words that seemed to make little sense in the context of our conversation. Yet, if I listened from the calm within me, I felt I could understand him quite well. I encouraged us to listen to the space between the words. And as we did, he and his wife established a spiritual understanding of their unbreakable connection beyond death. I called the wife after he died, and she shared that the connection they had forged in those final months was indeed uniting them in ways difficult to describe with words. I think that that's an important parallel to notice. His inability to find words and her inability to find words for that amazing connection. This allowed her grief to be infused with a profound sense of joy. When our connections are severed through distance, conflict, or death, our bodies feel real physical pain. My time spent with the dying has been my greatest teacher in this. From a distance, death is terrifying. Your mind's job is to keep you alive, so it warns you to stay away. It's like standing near a beehive for the first time. Your brain screams that thousands of those little buggers are about to sting you. A healthy fear of death and of bees is completely natural. But when you step closer, when you actually cross the gap and enter the room or open the hive, something remarkable happens. You enter B time. What your mind told you would be chaotic, terrifying, becomes profoundly calm, gentle, and quiet. Because so many of us live insulated from death, our minds convince us it is an enemy to be avoided at all costs. Yet life and death belong together, like night and day. Before becoming a chaplain, I had rarely been around death. But sitting at the bedside along deep grief and sadness, I often encounter a profound, sacred peace, a quiet assurance that everything is going to be okay. This, too, is pollination. It's the exchange we're meant to offer one another. I leave the room carrying a little of their grief in my heart, and in return, I leave behind a drop of calm presence, a reminder that connection doesn't end when breath does. I share all of this, the bees, the neuroscience, the hospital rooms, the hard goodbyes, for one simple reason: to remind you that you are not a solitary island. You are an interconnected human being who needs and draws life from the world around you. I'm not a pollinator because I'm a chaplain. I think this is important. I am a pollinator because I am human, and so are you. The divine in you calls out to the divine in others. Let's move toward each other. Don't let fear stand in the way. Our lives and our well-being depends on it. So, I want to invite us to practice being pollinators right now by creating a genuine connection with someone in this room. Now, I know that by merely saying this, I have probably made about half of the room very nervous. I resonate. If I were seated in the congregation, my first thought would be, oh my God, what is this beardy chaplain going to make me do? If this is you, I invite you to pay attention to this. Try not to judge it. Just let it be what it is. This is your body trying to take care of you. You can thank it and then choose if you want to listen to it. Okay, so let's try this. Turn to someone near you and share two simple things: your name and one thing that deeply matters to you. It can be as simple as, I care about music, or you can take it deeper and say, I care about music because it reminds me of my grandmother who used to play during lunch on Sunday afternoons. From there, just let the connection flow where it may. Now, I want to say one more thing before we get going here. If you feel like connecting with someone is making you want to run for the door, or if you're online and watching from the stream and by yourself, please feel free to simply close your eyes and connect with yourself. If someone's eyes are closed, please respect their space. Okay, so here we go. You have 3 minutes. Name one thing that matters to you, be brave, make eye contact, and let yourselves connect. When you hear me make this little chime noise, that will be your sign to come back together, okay? Ready, set, go! I know it's hard to stop once you get started. Well, I heard someone say, I was having fun. I don't know who that was. That was you. Thanks for being brave and trying that exercise with me. One of the things I love about this, I've done this in other contexts, is you all sound like a hive of bees as you connect. It's so cool. How was it for you? Good. Yeah. Why don't we just do a quick debrief? Like, go ahead and speak aloud a word or two about how it felt to you. No need to raise your hand. Just speak out, and I'll just try to repeat it in the mic so those of us can all hear it and online. So, refreshing. Warm. Connected. Loving. Enduring. Fun. Again. Invigorating. Honest. Helpful. Supportive. You guys are going to make me cry. Superpower. Yes, you're right. You discovered that the little boy is me. You're right. Writing about myself. Small. Yes. Small world. Calming. A little bit awkward. Thank you for being honest. Absolutely. It is a little bit awkward. Okay. Well, I just think that one of the most beautiful things, and the reason, again, we come together is to establish these connections. And so as you have started, don't let it stop, right? You can keep that connection going as you head into the narthex as we finish, or as you continue your life as a congregation. You are a family, and the deeper you connect, the deeper you are able to connect with the world around you. So thankful for that time together. I want to end with a story of pollination that happened recently. Okay? A few weeks ago, during a spiritual care visit where we were exploring the patient's feelings around death, he said, "Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die." I responded, "Now that is a country song." We both laughed, deep belly laughs. It brought a beautiful lightness to a topic that often feels heavy. And when I got home that night, I began to hear the song in my head. I grabbed my guitar and wrote it all in one evening. A few weeks later, I visited the patient and his wife again and shared the song with them. As I finished, I looked up, and both he and his wife had tears in their eyes. And so today, I bring a little of the pollen from that visit to you. Go on. Here we go. When you're born, you make a deal to call Earth home for a little time. And when the clock expires, then they call the next in line. It ain't no ancient secret, it's as plain as bread and rice. If you think you aren't immortal, go ahead and roll the dice. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but somehow it makes us cry. Everybody wants to go to heaven to see those pearly gates. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but we fear that it's too late. Oh, the funny thing about it, what's next ain't guaranteed. Some folks think that they're a shoo-in. Some think they have to plead. If you think you know the secret, then you better think again, because everyone who knows it has never come back again. Everybody wants to go to heaven, and nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but somehow it makes them cry. Everybody wants to go to heaven to see those pearly gates. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but they fear that it's too late. My friends, I've got a theory. If you please lend me your ear. We all came from somewhere, so what do we have to fear? If life comes from life, it'll come back to life, and then everybody's gonna be in heaven, so we'll throw a party, amen. Everybody's gonna be in heaven, and everybody's gonna die. Everybody's gonna be in heaven, but it's not up in the sky. Oh, everybody's gonna be in heaven, so take it for what it's worth. Everybody's gonna be in heaven, so let's make heaven here on earth. Yeah, everybody's gonna be in heaven, so let's make heaven here on earth.
I feel very pollinated. Thank you. Reflections time. A kind word or a thoughtful act, like a pebble dropped in water, send ripples out into the world. Should you wish to make a promise or let go of one, remember someone, release a bit of pain, forgive yourself or someone else, or otherwise mark some important event or occasion, please step forward and quietly send your thoughts outward as you drop a pebble into the water, mingling the ripples of your intention with the ripples of other people in our community. During this quiet time, and as the music plays, please feel free to come forward and place a pebble in the water. Please approach together from both aisles at the same time, and once you are finished, please return to your seats using the center aisle. I will begin by dropping one pebble for all those whom we wish were here with us today, and another for those who we wish they were here. May it be so. If you are new to our congregation, you will notice that we do not take up a collection for the operations of the congregation. We chose many years ago to support our congregation by making generous pledges of financial support that we pay month by month, year by year. Instead, our Sunday offering is dedicated to going out into the world to support organizations doing good works that align with and extend the mission of this congregation, gathering together, nurturing the Spirit, living our vision of a just and sustainable world. The August cause of the month is the Cocoon House. Cocoon House is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to partner with young people, families, and the community to break the cycle of homelessness. Their site is a treasure trove of information. We are quoting liberally from it here. Youth experience homelessness for many reasons, often rooted in family conflict, generational poverty, substance use, mental health challenges, or abuse and neglect. Many of the young people we serve are no longer safe or welcome at home. System failures and a lack of affordable housing further increase vulnerability to homelessness. Every safe night and success story reflects the power of community and your support. Thank you to Donna for bringing this organization to our attention. You may donate using the QR code or go to the EUUC website and click Donate. For those of you here, there are baskets out in the narthex through the doors underneath the screen on the wall. As always, thank you for your generous donations. We now invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are comfortable to join in singing our opening hymn number 313 in the gray hymnal, "Oh, what a piece of work we are. Oh, what a piece of work are we." Nick, our wonderful pianist Nick, will play one time through, and then we will join him, and the words will also be projected on the screen.
Nice. Friends, if you're here in Chapman Hall this morning, you're welcome to gather with us and socialize, connect after the service. Please go out the double doors at the back of the hall, grab a beverage, and join for coffee hour. We'll be here out in the narthex when you get your hot drink and out on the playground. Looks like the weather's good for it, and the kids with the kids of all ages. Finally, we give thanks to all of you who make this Sunday service and the work of this congregation possible. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. We are all so grateful for you. And please join me in the words printed on the screen as we release the flame of our burning chalice. We release this flame, but not the light of truth. We release this flame, but not the warmth of this community. We release this flame, but not the fire of our commitment. These we will carry in our hearts until we meet again. Friends,
Go forth from this time and this place into the crisp solace morning, knowing that you are one small but important part of a greater hope for our world, which we all carry together. As we hold the joys and sorrows of our hearts and our world, we join in love. The service begins as our service ends. Go in peace. Practice love. Amen.